Okay, going over how to solve linear equations. I'm going to start with these one-step equations where, well, obviously we just have to take one step to solve them. The trick here is you always want to run the opposite operation to what's happening to the variable that you're trying to solve. Here x is being divided by 4. The opposite of dividing by 4 is multiplying by 4. So we'll multiply both sides by 4. So I've got times 4 here and times 4 here. You do them both at once. Imagine you got two markers and you're just doing them both at once, so things stay balanced. After multiplying both sides by 4, over here they cancel out, leaving me x all by itself, and it is negative 5 times 4, which is negative 20. You can pause that, back it up, or I'm going to go through 3 more examples of one-step linear equations right now. Here we've got 2x is equal to 12. X is being multiplied by 2. We're going to divide both sides by 2. They cancel out here, and 12 divided by 2 is equal to 6. Over here, 5 is being subtracted from x. The opposite of subtracting is adding. Let me copy it out, give some more space. X minus 5 is equal to 11. Opposite of subtracting is adding, so I'm going to add 5 here, add 5 here. Subtracting and adding 5, those two operations cancel each other out. That was the point. So I've got x all by itself, and it's equal to 11 plus 5, 16. Over here, x plus 7 is equal to 5. Now if you try and think this through logically and you're counting, there's not really a positive number that works because 7's already bigger than 5. So how can you add something to it and get a number greater than 5? What happens is we're working with integers. Think of numbers more as a direction than a count of how many of something you have. So we've got x plus 7 is equal to 5. I'm going to subtract 7 from both sides. Now it's gone here, and x is equal to 5 minus 7. So imagine you took 5 steps forward and then 7 steps back. You would end up 2 steps behind where you started, minus 2. Okay, I'm now going to show you how to do two-step equations. So here, 2 things are happening to x. It's being multiplied by 3, and we're subtracting 4. Question becomes, which one do you have to deal with first? The answer is, it doesn't really matter. You could deal with either, except if I was to start off by dividing by 3, I'd have to divide everything by 3, turning this into a 4 over 3 fraction. I'm not going to do that. My advice to you, if you're watching this video, you're kind of new at algebra, to start out, go the opposite of Bedmas. That is, you've got that order of operations, multiply and divide, and then addition, subtraction, just run it backwards. Do addition or subtraction first. That means I'm going to get rid of that 4. I'm going to get rid of that 4 by adding 4 to both sides. So plus 4 right away on both sides. So I've got 3x minus 4 plus 4 equals 5 plus 4. Now minus and plus cancel. So 3x is equal to 5 plus 4, which is 9. Now this should remind you of a one-step problem. X is being multiplied by 3, so I'm going to divide both sides by 3. It's gone. So x is equal to 3. Okay, now we're into three-step equations. So this looks like a big mess, but actually it's not that bad. I've got 2x's minus 5x's. What does that even mean? Well, x is some unknown quantity. You could think of it as steps. So maybe you started over at point 0. We're just going to call where you start point 0. And we've got 2x minus 5x, so that could be 2 steps forward, which would put us at, and let's say each step size is an x, so it puts us at 2x. And then we take 5 steps back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, where does that put us? We went 2 steps forward and then 5 steps back. It actually puts us 3 steps behind where we started. So we're over here at minus 3x because each step has a length of x, as I said. So we have 2x minus 5x. That gives us negative 3x's. And you see that plus 6? Remember, we get rid of it by subtracting 6 from both sides, so I'm just going to write it in here. Look back at the previous questions to make more sense of that. We subtract 6 from both sides, so it goes from being plus 6 on the left to minus 6 on the right, as you'll see in every other case of the ones we just did. So now negative 3x is equal to negative 9. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 3. X is equal to negative 9 over 3, which is negative 3. So with all of this, x is equal to negative 3. By the way, you can always check and see if these are right by putting the number in. So if I think negative 3 is right, I can check it and see. 2 times negative 3 minus 5 times negative 3 plus 6 is equal to negative 6 plus 15 starting to question this one. All right, so that becomes negative 6 plus 15 plus 6, and that doesn't come out to negative 3. I think I messed this one up. Let me do this question a second time here, and I'm glad I checked that. Okay. So rewriting it, I've got, and I'm not going to talk so much while I do it. I'm just going to do it, try and do this right here. Okay, so I've got negative 3x, and that's equal to negative 6 minus 3. So negative 3x is equal to negative 9. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 3. Yeah. See the mistake there? You guys see the mistake? Negative 9 divided by negative 3 is actually positive 3. All right, so now let's check this. Now that that's fixed. Yeah, here's the mistake here I have. Right here, look. I divided that side by negative 3. I divided that side by positive 3. Should have been negative 3. I'm not going to edit that out. It's kind of good for you to see how you check to see if you're right and then how you should follow up. All right, so now let's check. See if positive 3 works. So I'm going to replace every x with a positive 3. So I've got 2 times positive 3 minus 5 times positive 3 plus 6 over on the left, and I've got negative 3 over on the right. 2 times 3 is 6 minus 15 plus 6. That gives me a positive 12 minus 15, which is a negative 3. Now notice, when I put a positive 3 in place of x, the left side comes out to negative 3 just as the right side is. So we know that that positive 3 is right. All right, so I'm going to now show you just quickly another two-step problem, and then I'm going to show you how to deal with brackets, and then I'm done. So I'm under the 10-minute mark here. So I've got 4x minus 7x. I'm going to bring all my x's over here, and I've got negative 2 minus 6. So just watch what I did. 7x was being added to the right, so I subtracted it from both sides, so I've got negative 7x on the left. 2 is being added to the left, so I subtracted it from both sides. On this side it's gone, and on this side it shows up as a negative 2. 4 minus 7 is negative 3, so I've got negative 3x and negative 8. So x is equal to negative 8 over negative 3, which is a positive, well, 6 over 3 is 2, so that's a 2. And that leaves me with 2 over 3, so 2.6 repeating. I use my phone as my calculator, so if anyone wants to check and put in the comments if that was a mistake, then please go ahead. Okay, so on to dealing with brackets. Now, these brackets, I got 20 seconds, I'm going to keep this under 10 minutes. I'm going to multiply that 2 by each term inside the bracket. So this is going to be 2x, and then minus 7 times 2 is minus 14. That's equal to 24. I'm going to add 14 to both sides. So 2x is equal to 20 and 10 is 30. 4 and 4 is 8, 38. That makes x equal to half of 38, which is 19. So if you put a 19 in here, 19 minus 7 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24, so that works. And for this one here, I've got 5 multiplied by x and multiplied by 2, just as here. Look, to get this, I multiplied 2 by each of the terms inside the brackets. We call that the law of distribution, or they say multiplication is distributed over addition and subtraction. Anyhow, I'm going to multiply that out, so I've got 5x. Sorry, that's my makeshift tripod there. My makeshift tripod didn't work. So I've got 5x plus 10, and that's equal to 22. And so 5x is equal to 22 minus 10, which makes that equal to 12. So if 5x is 12 and we divide both sides by 5, x is equal to 12 divided by 5, which is 10 divided by 5 plus 2 divided by 5. So that makes that equal to 2 plus 2 divided by 5, which is same as 4 divided by 10, or 0.4. So that should be 2.4.